The start streaming, start recording time is 7:55 a.m. Um, okay, my mic is working. Okay, that's good. Day is December 10th. Let's get started. This is Johnson Blackhorse, and I welcome you to another community service art stream. You sound so enthusiastic, Black Horse. Woo, I can't wait. Yeah. Let me get some fuzzy slippers on. Ugh. I walked over to the house like a moment ago to use the restroom and see how mom's doing. She's doing okay. 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 Oh shoot, dude. Okay, yeah. Just making sure I brought the cat food over. All right. Let's get down to business. Still storyboarding here. Where's my lovely moderator? She's not here yet. Let me check the users in chat. The user box. Holy shit, it's just me. You can't really see my face. There we go. Is that better? Yeah. Who am I talking to? It's just me here. I'm just talking to myself. All right. Here we go. Whoops. That's the wrong drawing implement. Let me turn down stabilization a little bit. 49. I think 49 will be good. Ah, there's my lovely moderator. Hello, love. Love of my life. Darling soulmate. Snuggle snacks. Luffin muffin. Let's check the users box now. It's just me and Melody's not. She's not showing up in the users box, even though she's commented in the chat. There's only it's only registering one lurker here. Does that mean that there might be several that's not picking up? Maybe. Let me check again. Should be me, Melody, and I guess this other lurker. It's loading. Nope. Melody's not popping up. Weird. Melody says usually takes a couple to show up. Okay. Okay. I'll just leave it then. Ribbit. Paddle down. Paddle down. Whoops. I better not come down with another cold. Doesn't feel like it. I just feel like there's like more mucus coming out of my membranes than usual. I remember as a kid and a late teen, I never really blew my nose all that much, but when I started growing like fully into my adulthood, like I think it was my early 20s, I found that I had to blow my nose like constantly. Well, not like constantly, that might be an exaggeration. More often than I used to. I don't think it's allergies because I think I'd be like suffering a lot more if it was like allergy related. What the heck? There's like a string coming out of my glove. But maybe it's just part of growing up. I don't know. Molly says that'd suck. Yeah. Yeah, like one year like noticed like, hey, I'm like blowing my nose more often than I used to. Like when I was younger, I only needed to blow my nose when I had a cold or the flu. But growing older, like I just have to blow my nose every now and then, despite not having a cold. Five, one, two, three, four. Okay. Yeah, but right now I'm like feeling it a little more than usual. So I'm thinking like, yeah, I hope I'm not coming down with another cold. Cause yeah, that would suck. Ugh. Hmm. Coffee's not as doesn't have that kick that I usually get. Like I took the last bit of the coffee from last yesterday, like last night. I went over and just took the last of it, and this is what's left from last night's coffee. I don't mind cold coffee, but I like my coffee strong, but not like too strong. If it's too strong, then I'm like kind of useless because I feel like I'm too hopped up on caffeine. And when I get too hopped up on caffeine, like I'll just sit there and just feel my heartbeat. And when I get to that point, I have to drink a lot of water to nullify the effects. Oh, bit of good news concerning my schooling, my college schooling. Wait, Melody says, I imagine it's your fam getting them and they pass it on to you. Yeah, it's like usually it's my family that gets like a cough or a cold, the sniffles, and then it just spreads through the rest of the family. Melody's saying, "Oh, I love the caffeine buzz." It's like when I hit it just right, it's like freaking, it's freaking awesome. Like I feel like compartments in my head just kind of like open up, and I feel more aware. I feel more present in the moment, just like taking in everything. It's like, oh wow, it's like I feel more awake. I feel more alive. But if it's too much, and I just take a step beyond that point, it's like I feel too anxious. Like I feel too high strung, and I just kind of like sit there and try to like let it pass. But what helps it like pass along is just like me guzzling a bunch of water just to water down all the caffeine that's in my system. Ugh. But when I'm on a caffeine buzz, like a decent one, it's man, it feels awesome. Like it's just like yeah. Just that feeling I described is like just feeling more aware. I'm more aware of my surroundings, man. I feel like I'm a superhuman, dude. Oh, far out. Anyway, oh, Melody says a caffeine high is what my brain goes through with my ADHD, nerd. Oh, I wonder what we'd both be like just hanging out together in real life, hopped up on caffeine, going off on all these ideas. We'd have to have like the whole like speech to text stuff going on so we can track what ideas come out of our crazy noggins. Million thoughts a second, yes. Oh, but as I was saying, with that good idea with my schooling, um, I took my Navajo language proficiency test over the phone. And of course, I'm not that good at Navajo language. Like, I can only recognize like a few words. And I'm going to be putting like Navajo language 101, which is like basic Navajo, which is okay, you know. Like, I don't want to, I didn't want to study up before the test and get in a uh, um, higher grade like Navajo language course and just make things unnecessary. Just make things unnecessarily difficult for myself. Because I thought about doing that. I thought about like going to my mom and like having her like just teach me some Navajo real quick, like teach me my numbers, teach me like some basic like Navajo phrases. Like, why go through the process of doing that, make things harder on myself when I can just kind of fuck up on my own and then just get like basic Navajo and it'll be a lot easier. So me and Melody are gonna take the class. Like Melody sounds interested, and I'm sure she's willing to help me take Navajo and study a bit. But I just hope she's not overwhelmed by the prospect of learning another language. Like one of the hardest languages to learn is Navajo. But I think we can handle it. The couple geniuses that we are. Oh, this coffee isn't that strong. Kind of want a cookie. Oh, I got Rice Krispie treats. Yes. Maybe later. Melody says, I'm subgenius. Brains in the anal region is me. Oh, shush, Fluff. We're both like that. We might be almost geniuses, but our brains are in the gutter. That's what our geniuses are used for. Just wallowing in the cesspool of our perverse thoughts and imaginations. And that's another reason I love you. What should I rant about today? Excuse me. I guess I don't have to be too detailed with this corn because when I start doing the layout and then start actually designing the backgrounds, I'll go into more detail with this corn. So as for right now, this is more or less just placeholder corn. Ooh. Pew. Melody says it's a bit tricky to rant today with your recent bout of winning. uh, yes. I am signed up for classes. We'll be starting the first semester in, I guess, January 10th. I don't know what it was, but about the computer courses, but I thought I was going to have to start some of the class like in the middle of December. But I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye on my student email. Melody says, "How about not being able to artsue all my awesome ideas?" Oh man, I can't wait for the day. Can't wait for the day until my drawing hand is unshackled and I can draw all the lewdness I want. But as for right now, my artistic skills, for anyone wondering, have been labeled a literal threat to society. It's like, what kind of fucked up shit is that? I'm labeled an actual threat to society because of my artistic talent, my ability to draw extremely lewd and provocative things. And it's a threat to society because it might inspire other people to take those actions on in real life. It's like, shit, man, you can't hold me responsible for what other people do. It's like for violent movies or video games. It's like, can you hold those responsible for crazy shit like crazy people end up doing? Like a mass shooting or killing, a slew of murders. It's like, no, it's like each individual is responsible for their own actions. You can't blame like someone else or like a different part of society for or media for like inspiring violence. I mean, it's just fucking stupid. And if someone were to go out there and perform like the sexual acts that are displayed in my old artwork, you can't hold me liable or responsible for their actions. I mean, that's just fucking dumb. Because all my artwork like boils down to is just graphite or pen on paper. That's it. Because like all the drawing is an expression of thought. So where you're going to criminalize pencil on paper? Because objectively that's all you have, and subjectively like you're trying to criminalize my thought. And we have it in US law where you can't mandate thought. You can't um, through law you can't control a person's thought process, and that goes along with the whole like freedom of speech. With freedom of speech you have the freedom to just like speak your mind, or like with the freedom of speech you also have freedom of religion. So yeah, like you have the freedom of speech, you have the freedom of thought, and with that, like goes along with like freedom of artistic expression, because all art is just a freedom of thought, or like an expression of thought. And there's like one lawyer that tried to put it to me, well, like say that I draw the words, um, I'm robbing you, and you present that to a bank teller. It's like, well, that that doesn't equate, because you're physically at the bank and your actions dictate that you're trying to rob that bank. To equate a scenario to what I'm doing is that I'm just painting a picture of a dude robbing a bank. That's how you would equate that. But to argue like, oh, well, it's like you're drawing the words, I'm robbing you, and you're presenting it to a bank teller. It's like, no, no, that's not the case at all. Like, to take that, like, let's take that scenario and actually equate it to like what I'm doing is like, I'm doing a painting or a drawing of an individual robbing a bank, and I'm sharing that drawing with fans of heist movies, let's say, and that's all that is. And if my drawing of a heist scene or bank robbery scene inspires someone to rob a bank, that's not on me, that's on that crazy fucking motherfucker. So yeah, it's like that argument just doesn't, that argument doesn't cut butter, man. It does not. And for them to like criminalize my artistic capabilities, it just fucking goes beyond like uh, constitutional sense. And that's why when I become president and then change all these laws, I want to make it so that any policing authority, elected federal uh, official found guilty of violating the Constitution ought to be, well, first removed from their position, tried, and when found guilty, executed. Because in this country, like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights should be held sacred above all other things. And I think the reason like things are just so rapidly corrupt and out of control as it is because we don't hold the Constitution or the Bill of Rights at that high a value. And when we do, and like actually punish like dole out legitimate punishment to people who violate their position of authority, then we would see less corruption. Then we can like clean up this proverbial swamp. And what I'd like to do when elected president is not only clean the swamp, but fucking sterilize it. It's like I want a resurgence of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and hold all these authorities accountable to that. Because too many times we see like when someone is in violation of their position of authority, they're just allowed to step down, is like what the thing is. It's like, oh, they're just allowed to step down. In light of all their years of service, we'll just let them step down from their position. Yeah, they broke the law. Yeah, what they did is egregious when abusing their power. But all these years of like service to society and the American, like this country, we'll take all that to account and let them step down. It's like that's fucking bullshit, man. Like for them to hold such a high seat of authority, they should have that much faller or that much like higher to fall. It's like when someone in a high seat of authority gets in trouble, it's like they don't suffer like the same type of law or punishment that a regular person would. They suffer like little prison time, and their fines might be like minuscule compared to some average Joe who breaks the same law. But because they're in that seat of authority, they're held to a higher standard. And when they violate that high standard, it should just be like a straight pitfall down to like the harshest punishment that you can dole out to these people. Because, like, despite all those years of servitude to society and the country, if they violate that, all those years of servitude, all those years of service, just out the window, shouldn't even be considered. Because after serving for all those years, like, they ought to know better. They ought to know better. But since in whatever moment they were in when they broke these laws and willingly did so, like through like corruption or malicious intent, fuck them. I mean, yeah, it's just like bullshit. Like how like the cronyism has been allowed to permeate throughout all system of authority. And when they're crony, like say you have like all these judges, and like when they're like fellow crony, like a one particular judge is um, found like red-handed, abusing his power, like caught with like drugs or sexual misconduct. It's like they give him a like tap on the wrist, but no, like fuck that, like fucking throw the book at him, you fucking jackasses. It doesn't matter that he's your friend. Like, for him to do that and for all of you assholes to let him get away with it with just a slap on the wrist, that's like that would I'd see that as violations across the board, not just that guy for not punishing him properly as you would like an average individual. Like the rest of you should be shit canned. So like a lot of the laws I want to implement, I want to make them retroactive. So cases that were mishandled in a light that cronyism was evident, and say like a judge was letting his fellow judge off the hook easy, or like say that the prosecutor was going light on like policing authorities for violations, like fucking line them up, shit can them, try them. When found guilty, fucking execute them. I mean, that's the only way we can get corruption out of the system and actually sterilize this fucking swamp. The swamp of greed, the swamp of cronyism, this swamp of corruption through and through. I mean, that's the only way you can get it done. And I'm just the man to do it. Like, elect me president, and I'll fucking clean that swamp. No fucking joke. Because, like, none of them are my friends, and all I want is like I'm an average citizen, well, like below average since I'm being treated as a second class citizen, but I have no friends among their ilk, and I can't be corrupted, I can't be bought off, and I can't be intimidated. I'll fucking clean house. But yeah, it's like just utter bullshit how like like a single provocative like image could possibly like land me back in prison. It's fucking stupid. Heinous is what it is. And heads need to roll. Elect me president, and I'll see that those heads get rolled. Along with like a lot of others, because let's face it, like a lot of the laws propagated in this country are just so um, like two-sided. It's like there's two types of law in this country, one for the average citizens, and then the other for either like the people on the other side of the fence, like the people in power or rich celebrities. Let's say, let's face it. Because are some people in this country who are so corrupt, and because they're so famous or just like have some sort of influence, they get away with their corruption. Yeah, the chat's been going off, so let me see what's been going on. Okay, Melody says, because that gets my ass hairs in a knot. Not being able to draw like what me and Melody want to draw. Melody says, wasn't also one of the things they held against you was how photorealistic you could make these drawings too? Oh yeah, that's like another thing. They wanted to press more charges on me, like these obscenity laws. But the thing about obscenity laws, well, like let me get back to that after I catch up on this chat. Melody says, I noticed those dickhead kids that accidentally killed their friends imitating Naruto, and yet they didn't friggin' slap bans on Naruto media. Oh shit. There's something like that that happened? Oh fuck. That's gotta suck. last I remember were like the Slenderman killings, but I didn't know there was like a horrific Naruto accident. I only think it's horrific because like I assume that maybe they were like throwing ninja stars or whatever. He just says hello there. Melody says, "Yo, Iso, so many ideas I've had to shit can." Yeah, best example I guess best example of corruption is Gerald Ford pardoning Nixon. Yeah, that's that's bullshit. It shouldn't have happened. I guess Nixon was just like such a fucking oddball, man. And in a publicity stunt to try to relate to average people, like he took a day at the beach, right? And took a photo op to like show that, oh hey, he's at the beach. He's like the rest of the rest of American Joes and whatnot. But when he took the photo op at the beach, like he's just strolling along the beach dressed in a full suit. Like, man, like why the fuck are you gonna come to the beach as like just to enjoy yourself, but you're wearing a full fucking suit? You fucking weirdo. It's like the only reason to dress up to a beach is like you're going to like a beach wedding or something. But even then, like you take the time to like fucking dress down and have a swim. But no, Nixon for this photo op, he went to the beach trying to relate to everyday people, but he wore a full like three-piece suit. I mean, slacks, shirt, jacket, and even the fucking shoes. Is like, you fucking jackass. It's so fucking weird. Uh, Melody says, was the worst way to die a Naruto imitation was Garo's sand coffin attack, and they buried the bud in sand, and he died from it. Oh fuck! Yeah, getting buried alive is like no way to go. There was like a recent murder documentary that I heard on YouTube where like a group of like thugs, it's like a chick and her two like her a chick, her boyfriend, and the guy's friends like robbed this old couple, and the old couple like took on like the chick as like a they were like foster parents to her, even though it wasn't like anything that was like really official. They just took her on into their family and like took care of her when she was younger. But then as she grew older, like she just fucking turned into one of these rotten apples and fucking with her want to be thug boyfriend and his friends. It was like a trio of like spoiled white kids and just decided to victimize this caring couple, rob them, and then in the end they buried them alive. And as they were getting buried alive, like the sand kept getting higher and higher. Like they're the couple were whimpering and sobbing, and even after the sand had gotten over their bodies, like they're fully buried now, heads just like underneath the earth. They could still be heard whimpering, choking, crying. I mean, that's just fucking sad. And you're just slowly getting suffocated of air and just drowning in dirt essentially. And when the autopsy showed that yeah, there was like dirt and mud in their mouth, their nasal cavities, down their throat, and even in their lungs. So they essentially died of suffocation and asphyxiation from just drowning in dirt, and that fucking sucks. That's gotta suck because it had to been like a slow, agonizing death, and that's awful. God damn, it's sad. It's really sad because thinking about it, like going through that thing personally, like I've had nightmares like that where um, I've been accidentally buried alive. Like in the nightmare scenario, like I'm digging under a house trying to like get at some sort of utility or something, and I'm like between the house and like this mound of dirt that I'm just kind of like throwing up there. But then something happens where all the dirt collapses on top of me, and like fucking like you can feel it like just I felt it like just kind of like pressing up against me, all the dirt going around my like chest, and that's about as high as it got. But as it kept coming in, like it's compressing my chest and it's like making it hard to breathe. And before like things went black, like I just woke up and it's just fucking oh god, it's scary. And I never want that to happen to myself or like anyone I care for, because like just like hearing this story, it does sound like a slow, agonizing death, and that would just be awful to impart onto somebody. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, uh, the courts were stating that they wanted to press new charges against me for this obscenity law because they had confiscated like a bunch of my lewd drawings, and I don't think they're aware, but my most recent highly provocative like loli art, and that's the stuff that's like people would call like photorealistic and whatever. All of that stuff was drawn in prison. So, I mean, sending me back to prison wouldn't fix the scenario. If anything, like that would just give me more time to just produce more of these photorealistic, lewd, and provocative images. I mean, you're not doing me any favors by sending me back to prison. That's for sure. Because like I just draw more of it. And let's face it, like there's corruption everywhere, and there are guards that I found who enjoyed my artwork, and I would share it with them. So it's not going to be too hard to go if they were to send me back to prison. It's not going to be that hard to just like start drawing this raunchy stuff again, and it won't be too difficult to like find a guard who was into it. So send me back to prison for like lewd drawings, where prison was where I produced a lot of those lewd drawings, isn't going to fix me of like drawing these lewd drawings. I mean, like, people working in this prison industry are just fucking stupid. But anyway, like the last I heard that they were trying to press new charges against me for obscenity because of the obscenity laws, which makes um, obscene drawings illegal. It's like last I heard of that was like a few years ago, and nothing has happened since then. So I doubt anything is going to happen because, like, I'll let you all know this. Like, the obscenity laws work off the sentencing guidelines for child pornography, and those sentencing guidelines require they work off the sentencing guidelines for like child pornography or like human trafficking or something like that. But either way, it's like obscenity laws work off the same sentencing guidelines, and those sentencing guidelines either require a victim, like a real life victim, or require like an undercover agent posing as a victim. So like saying like through like a via chat room or something. But none of those scenarios exist in my case of obscenity. So if they want to file charges, they probably could, but in the end, nothing can happen because the sentencing guidelines dictate there has to be a victim, or I'm led to believe I'm dealing with a minor in the case of like a undercover agent. But with my drawings, none of those scenarios are present. So they can't really do fucking jack shit. Idiots. So you like in all in all actuality, you can't like criminalize artwork. Even though this obscenity law is in the books, like it's a stupid fucking law, and it was passed by a gaggle of Republicans back in 2003. It was like one of those feel good laws, like, oh, let's pass this law that makes like anything we deem obscene like illegal, and once we pass it, yeah, well, it's like a round of like handshakes and pats on our back because we did good. Fucking jack offs, just jacking themselves off left and right. Yeah, we passed this obscenity law. Let's have ourselves a long fucking circle jerk. Fucking dickheads. But yeah, vote me as president. I'll change these laws, make all these elected officials and policing authorities pay for like a lot of the unconstitutional laws they put in effect, and all the constitutional laws that they enforce. I'll fucking get them shit canned, have them tried, and when found guilty, I'll have them fucking executed. Because this is enough of this fucking bullshit. How are you gonna throw me back in prison for fucking drawings, you jackass? And that's why I want to like fucking make these laws like retroactive, and just fucking start throwing all these dickheads in pens, especially those fucking idiots who passed that obscenity law back in 2003. Fucking round them all up and just watch the heads roll, man. After they're found guilty, of course, which they will be. Fucking assholes. Um, Melody's like saying, "What's with the whole can't be prosecuted for the same offense twice dealy?" That's double jeopardy. But since I haven't been tried for my drawings yet, I can't use the whole double jeopardy thing. But if they try and they fail, I can't be prosecuted for for that again. I doubt like they would ever try in the first place. But if they did, they would fail. And after failing, you know what? I think they would have to find it fit to just like knock that law off the books because of its outright stupidity. But let's face it, like let's be real, like that law was just put on the books to make a bunch of like um, um, Republican Congress people feel good about themselves, like make them feel like they accomplished something. Oh yeah, we deserve the raises that we gave ourselves because we passed this obscenity law. That's a jack off motion if you can't see, because they're a fucking bunch of jack offs. And Maudi says, and all those because you drew and posted a funny picky on Twitter. No, two of them. Two of them. They were like there were two funny joke comics that I posted on Twitter, and none of them illustrated anything like sexual or provocative. The only thing that was provocative about them were the word bubbles and the context of what they were saying. And because of that context, that sexual context in these word bubbles, they wanted to send me back to prison. That's fucking bullshit, man. So yeah, like I feel very vindictive and I have a right to be because these are my like expressions of thought that I felt I was safe just drawing out. Like even though I'm not allowed to draw pornography, like I thought I could like just post like a funny cheeky comic strip with some like sexual wording, but no, that's not even allowed. I feel bad enough that I can't fucking draw tits, ass, throbbing cock, and cum just like drizzling all over the place. But the fact that I can't even write out like funny, provocative sexual context in word bubbles, hells yeah, I want to run for president, change these stupid, fucked up laws, round up all the people in violation or responsible for these unconstitutional laws and actions, have them tried for their corruption, bullshittery, and unconstitutional actions, and when found guilty, have them all executed. I mean, that's the only way you can fix like a lot of the things that are wrong with this country is like holding the people in power to account for all their bullshit nonsense. Let's see. Chat is going off again. Melody says no sense of humor. Issa says now I'm reminded of an Onion article I read today. Oh no. Melody says I am well versed in the wanker hand gesture. Yeah, I didn't know like if you could see that because like my hand like when I see it in the camera like it looks like a blur. It's like this. I guess you can see it like kind of get what I'm getting at, but anyway. Issa McIntyre says executive urge boycott of Kellogg's after executives urge boycott of Kellogg's after CEO receives insulting salary offer of 11 million a year. I love The Onion. Also, the suggestive text ban sucks. Wanted to post some funny art on Discord, but decided not to due to suggestive text. Yeah, fucking assholes, just like fucking ruining and ruling my life. But it would be a pleasant day to be in a seat of power, change all these laws for the better, and for all those assholes just shitting all over the Constitution with these flippant, unconstitutional laws that they put into place. Just fucking round them up, try them for their unconstitutional nonsense, find them guilty, and fucking off with their heads. With my resurgence of the modernized guillotine, which I will dub just Lady Justice's backswing. Because just kind of like reiterating again, like Lady Justice has a double-edged sword, and one of those edges has just been utilized, overutilized on the American public, whereas the people on the other side of the fence suffer little to none of the same type of justice doled out to average citizens. So, like, I think since I'm dubbing it Lady Justice's backswing, it's like she uses the other edge of her sword to fucking lop off the heads of all the corrupt authority, shady politicians, and just get rid of all this fucking goddamn cronyism that is just so prevalent throughout the the judicial system or the government system, just like just fucking all the systems, just end with all that nonsense. And we do that by changing the laws, making punishments harsher for all those in a seat of authority, all those elected officials and policing authorities, and yeah, like make the law equal for them, if not harsher, because they're held to a higher standard. And when found guilty, like fucking with Lady Justice's backswing, lop off their heads after they're found guilty. Melody says, "You Mazda." What's that from? Let's see how many users are in the user peanut gallery now. Oh, oh, okay. Fuck. Oh, tried to sniff because I sort of have the sniffles, and a wad of mucus went down the wrong tube. Yes. Oh, Melody says, duped it in Discord. Uh, I want to play it, but I don't want to get like a copyright claim on this video because I'll be uploading it to YouTube afterwards. Because like a lot of the videos and content that I get sent and I play on the stream, after I upload it to YouTube, it gets a copyright claim on it. And I would like to avoid that. So I will see what you're talking about after I'm done streaming. And I was saying, like, see, we could find something to rant about. Yeah, fucking, that was a long, good rant. Such a good rant. I think I've earned myself a Rice Krispie treat. And thanks for the donations, which made these Rice Krispie treats possible. But I should probably be working more on the project because people are donating to see this project get done, not to see me rant. Now that I'm getting some donations trickling in, I feel like I have more of a responsibility to see this get done. Hmm, 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 hmm. I would dunk this Rice Krispie treat in my coffee, but my coffee's too cold for that. I like it when the coffee's like kind of warm. You dunk the Rice Krispie treat in there, and it kind of like softens it up. And with the coffee flavor permeating throughout the Rice Krispie treat, you bite into it, it's just so soft, gooey, with the like the Rice Krispie treat or the Rice Krispies and the marshmallow. But then you get that coffee flavor in there. Oh God, forget about it, man. Mmm, so fucking delicious. But maybe I can. How low is my coffee? Oh, it's like halfway down. Probably re up on coffee here in a little bit. Mm. Right now it's hard to chew because it's so freaking cold in here. Well, it's not. It's not at its worst. I mean, it's like about 35. 35 fucking height. Fahrenheit. Yeah. The wind must be blowing through these power lines just right because I can hear like a distant humming, like a whistling hum, like. Yeah, it was raining like all afternoon and all evening yesterday, and it's like cold and drizzly today. And I looked around, all three mountaintops have like snow caps on them now. Like 2 days ago, yeah, 2 days ago, like we had some weather come in, and just two of the mountains had snow caps. But I look now, I looked out there this morning, and it's just like really, really dank and cloudy. It's like all three of them have snow caps now. Maudie says either that or someone is practicing with the didgeridoo. Didgeridoo? More like didgeridoo! I'm kidding though. I kind of like the sound of a didgeridoo. I wouldn't go out and buy like a didgeridoo record, but I think it's like an interesting sound. That's all. What are they barking at? Always borking at something. Bork, 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 bork. Oh, looks like the clouds are going to be clearing up pretty soon. It's really thick and heavy on one side, on one mountain, but I look over to the other horizon, and it's all clear on that side. Trying to see if like there's another mountain way up to the north. Okay, yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's got snow on it too. Sweet, sweet. Maybe we'll get some snow here pretty soon. Because yesterday when it was like raining, I was like thinking like, man, it shouldn't be raining. It should be snowing. It's December. What the fuck is this shit, man? So maybe we'll get like a blanket of snow in the coming weeks to follow. Because it's been a pretty dry fall. And we had one snow flurry, and that was back in October. And then since then, just fucking nothing. Nothing. No drop of rain, no drop of snow. I think we got like one little flurry of hail since the first snow flurry in October, but since then it's just been fucking dry. I was like thinking like, man, are we not going to get any snow this year? That would fucking suck. But look, it's looking like we might get some. Might. Melody says, my two fave woodwind instruments are the clarinet and panpipes. Oh, nice. I like the sound of panpipes too. Clarinet's pretty smooth and mellow. I wonder if there's anything going on today. Well, it's not like I can afford it right now. It's like some of my payments, my monthly payments came out. So I am more or less broke right now. Oh. Melody says, I fell in love with clarinet thanks to Mozart. Gotta dig some Mozart, man. Mozart was like a classical rock star. I mean, you have to admit it with like song titles such as Lick My Ass, Leakin' My Narsen, right? Right? Who else but a rock star would come up with a song title like that? Oh, my hands. My hands are feeling a little icy. Woo! Mm. Melody says Serenade for Winds, K361, third movement. Hey, we can play that type of song. It's like there's no copyright claim on classical music like Mozart and Beethoven. So yeah, you could do me a link of that if you'd like. Melody says, I have managed to translate most of the bassoon and clarinet parts to guitar. God, you're so fucking sexy. Can't can't get over how fucking amazing you are sometimes. Not sometimes, all the time. And how lucky I am to have you in my life. I'm surprised you put up with me this much. I think if like you were any other if you were any other babylicious babe, you would have like dropped me by now. But let's see this Mozart. Issa says you're totally wrong. Sad to say, classical music is not some copyright-free thing. Huh? Like, what are you talking about, Issa? Like, I'm pretty sure like classical music is public domain. The compositions might be in public domain, but when an orchestra performs it, then they have the copyright to that performance. Well, maybe that performance, that specific performance, sure, but oh shit. So if I open this link and it's like one of those copywritten performances by like a specific orchestra, then I might get a copyright claim. I don't know. Okay, so like yeah, the song is public domain, but the performance itself might be copywritten. Okay, I could probably perceive that. It's like, okay, yeah, Melody's saying, yeah, this is London Symphony Orchestra. Well, shit. I guess we can just see what happens. If anything happens, it's just going to be another copyright claim. Even though I'm trying to avoid it, it's not like I'm monetizing these videos. It's not like they're getting enough traction to like be worthy of monetization. It's more or less like a public record of a making of type journey. Maybe like one day when all these cartoons are finished, I can make like a little mini documentary and just like take samples of these videos. But yeah, right now I kind of want to hear this Mozart. Oh, since I'm having a bit of weather, my bandwidth is gonna suck. My Wi-Fi is gonna suck. Ah, shit, is it even worth it? I like it. I'm liking it so far, but uh, weather's fucking up my Wi-Fi. I didn't think weather could do that, but I've noticed that when it's kind of windy like this, my Wi-Fi will fucking suck. Usually I can play these with like no issue, but it's getting a lot of running to a lot of buffering. But with the weather being like this, I'm surprised that this stream is holding out so well. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on all the wood. Ugh. There we go. Okay. It's buffered quite a bit, so let's see. Cool. It says whether folks with atmospherics for things like cableless internet. Oh. Lisa says, or more realistically, you pay for the huge copyrights association, who then pays the record labels, and eventually the artists might get some money. Huh. Melody says, it's a little bit allegro compared to the original composition, but I can deal with it. Just over 40 minutes. Melody says, just over 40 minutes, nerd. So just over 40 minutes left. Lisa says, now I just want to suggest some Scarlatti. Melody says, I'm also in the mood for some Wagner or Holst. Lisa says, Sonata in D minor K 517 is one of the few classical pieces I like. Oh man, my hands are freaking getting chilly. How is it that my hands are getting colder right now? Like earlier, I was doing just fine. Oh, jeez. Oh. I better put on my other glove. ESO has linked more classical music on Discord. Molly says, at least you were cultured enough to not just say Moonlight Sonata. Like that's the de facto piece of classical music. Oh, I am such a Philistine. Because I was going to comment like, oh man, you guys know the names to all these classical pieces, whereas the only one I know, well, like Mozart's "Lick My Ass" because of the content of the title itself, but then like Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, and then I thought again is like, you know what? I'm just gonna not say anything because if I say that, I'm gonna out myself as like a friggin' classical music Philistine because that is the just constant go-to. It's like, oh, I love classical music, like Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna shut up about it. Then when Melody said something, it's like, yep, that's me. That is me. It's like I like classical music, and there are some arrangements that I enjoy. But I just don't. I don't know the names of them. It's the same thing with me with like modern day music. It's like I'll hear a song that I like, but I never bother to learn the artist who performed it or the title of the song. Yeah. Melody says, my fave beef oven piece is V. Allegretto Shepherd song. Let me check out this piece that Iso had sent. Please play this. It's kind of awesome. Sure thing, Iso. Let's play this. Yeah. 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 Getting a little wacky here. I think it's a combination between like being
Welcome
cold.
to the Disney Bundle, where Disney Plus. Hulu.
Fuck you, ad. Fuck you, Disney Plus. You can eat my ass. I just don't like Disney as a company. As an animation studio, like they've created like some great works, although some of them are pretty lacking nowadays. But as a company, like fucking Disney is evil. I should probably get myself some. I'm gonna get myself some more coffee. Wind is picking up. Okay, get myself more coffee. So I will be our B. Melody says, I sent you 1, 2. You might recognize it. Yeah, I will check it out after I get back. Hey, Fat Jack, you liking your new bed? Because I won't allow you to sleep with me right now because I'm mad at you. Okay, more on that when I get back. Coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. And I'm back. Geez, it's fucking cold out there. I lingered at the main house for a little while because my mom's got the fire going and it's going pretty good. Oh, I just had to stay there and bask in the warmth. Whew. Whew. Okay, I am back. Let's play this piece that Iso had sent. And then I'll see what's been going on in chat. Nice. Woo! Okay, let's see what's been going on in chat. Wow. Okay, I think this is where I was. Sent you my one too, is what Melody said. Whoops. Where'd it go? Ah, you might recognize it. Let's see. Go ahead and load this up. Pause. Beethoven Symphony No. 6, Pastoral and Egmont Overture. And we are on... No, pause. Let it buffer. Let it buffer. And then Melody says, strangely, as a purely artistic piece, I think Disney's Black Cauldron is one of the very most visually stimulating pieces, even though it didn't do well. Yes, I love the Black Cauldron. I mean, like fucking the storyline might be all over the place, but artistically, it's just like it's like everywhere. And I think the reason that is that before like they really started getting into production and animation of that movie, Disney passed away. So there was like a huge power struggle, and then during the production of that movie, like artists, like the animators, they just like took pieces of the storyline and just worked on it themselves. Like there was like no solid direction it was going in because there was no director like really overseeing like what all the artists were doing. It's like each of them took like a little piece of the pie, took it to their own corner and just like worked on it. So because it was done in that fashion, like you have this like it's like this really loose storyline that just like weaves through like these weird tangents. But the the art direction, some of the animation that these individual animators went in is just like so interesting, and it's one of their most original movies. And yeah, it didn't do well when it first came out, but it's one of those animated movies I wish I could like get a like own a copy of. I wonder if it's in the YouTube movie library. Maybe I can buy it off that. But yeah, for the most part, Disney just kind of like has it locked away because it's like a piece that they're not proud of. But it's one of the most original like Disney animations out there, and like it came during a time where like they were looking back on their track record and saying like maybe we should go a little more adult themed with this animation. And that's why you have like all these like gnarly skeletons coming to life and just wreaking havoc. You have like instances where it just like seems more violent, like more violent than a Disney cartoon has been since then, or like before then. But yeah, they were playing around with themes, and they had a little more liberty to do so because Disney passed away. But yeah, like during the whole production of the thing, like there was this power struggle between creators. Yeah, it was like pretty cool. I want to check it out again. Um, Melody says cat is supposed to be a solitary confinement. Oh yeah, Jack Jack. Yeah, I can't stay too mad at him. He's a funny cat, but he's still grounded. He's still grounded because he was on my desk like the other day, and I didn't see him on the desk, but there was evidence that he was. There was like some things knocked over here and there on the floor, and I got after him a little bit. But then when I found out later in the day that he had knocked over like it's like a little spray bottle I had for like Clorox because I was like bleaching patterns into a shirt, just like messing around and experimenting. But that bottle kind of broke, and you know what? I should dump it out because I may as well just get rid of it. But he had knocked that bottle over, and it just kind of got all over my desk and soaked some of my documents. But fortunately, they're not any of the really important documents that I've been saving. But I still got after him, and I'm still upset with him. But I'm not like outwardly like overly pissed at him. So he's grounded. He's grounded from the bed because like usually he likes to sleep in my bed and curl up in my covers, but after that, like he's grounded. Issa says it weirds me out how Disney is turning into this mega corporation that owns everything. Yeah, fucking hell. Like as far as Disney goes, like the animations, like I enjoy some of them, but like some of the recent ones are a little lackluster. But as a company, it's fucking They're fucking evil, man. And like getting you to buy into this whole Disney Plus thing. Like I was enjoying watching like the Marvel Cinematic Universe when it was on Netflix. I don't want to fucking shell out another 10 or so bucks a month just to enjoy that again on this different alternate Disney platform. I already have enough platforms as it is. I got Netflix and I got Hulu. I'm not buying no Disney Plus. I'm not getting no HBO Max. I'm not getting no Paramount streaming service. It's like, God damn it. When streaming services first came out, it's like it had all the content you wanted and needed on like these few platforms, and you could just pay like a monthly fee to it and just it's like what a cable service should be is like, hey, I just want to pay for Cartoon Network and maybe some cooking shows and maybe some documentaries. I don't need all this like news. I don't need all these sports channels. I don't need all this reality TV garbage. Just I want to pay for a streaming service that offers me what I want to see. And we had that with like Netflix and Hulu, and those are the two ones I got. But now all these like media companies are coming out with their own streaming service. So now it's becoming just as bad as cable was, where you had to pay like a huge amount for like a set package where you only wanted like maybe 3 or 4 channels, but those 3 or 4 channels that you want to see like at any given moment are spread throughout these different packages that you have to get. And now it's just becoming that way again, where it's like first everything you wanted to watch was maybe on Hulu, so you'd have like some of your Disney movies, some of your like Marvel movies, and then like other like various adult humor cartoons you would watch, like Family Guy, Rick and Morty, and things like that. But now Disney coming out with their own thing, and then like buying all these other companies. It's like, hey, if you want to watch these, you gotta buy our service now. I'm like, fuck you, Disney. I was happy with like the few streaming services I had. You know, like I'm still happy with them, but you know, I'm not going like far and out, you know, out of my way to get like another streaming service for like the few movies and shows that I want to watch. Kiss my ass, Disney Plus. I might get HBO Max for like the trial, just to see if I can see the um, Zack Snyder's Justice League. I might try the trial just for that if it's still available. Anyway, Melody says agreed. They aren't rich enough unless they have a massive hate boner for Jeff Bezos and Amazon. Lisa says Amazon is another ridiculous big company. Melody says, although I'm all in favor of any company that's willing to kill off Fox Media. When you say Amazon, most people think of them as a store, but there's also their server business, which I think runs quite a big chunk of the web. Huh, I didn't know that. Melody says AWS. Yeah, because it died the other day. It brought all of iRacing crashing down and burning. Melody says, cha-ching. Oh, someone made a donation? I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to look into that. Real quick. Oh, Melody sent me a link for the Black Cauldron.
Gentlemen, we got a
Sorry, that was a video I was watching earlier. Issa says this is kind of like a classic version of Metal Guitar Solo. Melody says love playing Pagani, Pag, Pag, Pagin, Paganini's Fifth Caprice on guitar. I'm butchering that name, I know it. Issa says also man does the harpsichord sound cool. Also does the harpsichord and sounds cool. This is this. Melody says this is the Sithal of music. I fiercely taught myself on guitar neoclassical. I've also preferred the sound of a harpsichord over piano. Lisa says it was like Spotify, way easier than pirating. Now you got to have Netflix, HBO, and Disney. Plus, of course, Crunchyroll to see their excellent Western anime. Western anime. Oh, God. Fucking High Guardian Spice. I want to get Crunchyroll because I want to watch High Guardian Spice. Fucking lame. I hate westernized, like Western anime. Like Western cartoons just trying to be all animated out. The only time I ever appreciated it was with Avatar because they had a good story. But since then, fuck you, Western anime. Okay, someone someone has donated to the cause, the Navajo Coyote Stories Reanimation Fund. Let's see who this is, so I can thank him. I'm looking through all my other email. Okay. Oh. Oh, love. Okay, this isn't quite for the project that I'm working on, but Melody has sent me some money advance for the some commissions I'll be jumping on pretty soon. But fucking awesome! Thank you, love. You are the absolute best honey kitty this scruff bear could ask for. You keep me going. You keep me alive. Melody says, hope the donation helps. Oh, and the original Teen Titans cartoon as well. Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah, that one was awesome. That one was cool. I love that cartoon. Lisa says also that French cartoon, which name I forgot. French cartoon. Whack Fu? Is it that anime? Yeah, there it is. Whack Fu. I sort of knew what you were getting at. Also says the French Japanese collabs like Mysterious Cities of Gold. I've never heard of that. Anyway, let's play the song that Melody had sent me. It's all nice and buffered. Thanks again, Love, for the coin. I love you so much. My sugar mama. Let's turn this music up. There we go. Whoops. I turned my speakers off. Sweet. That was cool. Melody says, I remember being very young and hearing this song attached to an old Chuck Jones cartoon, a cartoon adaptation of Rudyard Kipling's Tales of the Jungle Book, The White Seal. Fucking like, you'll have to show that to me. But that made me think of something else. Is that the reason like Looney Tunes is called Looney Tunes? You know, like tunes spelled Tunes, is because yeah, they made like fun and wacky cartoons, but one of their big things that they enjoyed doing was like taking classical music and animating like their cartoon characters just like in their wacky hijinks. And like that was like one of the things that they like enjoyed doing a lot of the time, which is why like like nowadays a lot of us like think that like there are some Looney Tunes cartoons, like there are classical orchestra pieces of music which are like synonymous with like some Looney Tunes cartoons. And I grew up thinking, like when I was a kid, I grew up thinking that that Looney Tunes produced some of this music for their cartoons. But it was only later on, as I aged, that I found out that no, like these classical songs were written way before Looney Tunes was actually a thing. And it's just pretty cool and fun how like this gaggle of artists and animators wanted to breathe some, I guess, culture into society by utilizing some of these classical songs in their animations. And I think that's pretty cool, and which is why like a lot of us, like when we hear classical music, it's like we think Looney Tunes because that's where they got a lot of their background songs from. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's one of the key factors behind Looney Tunes, and that's why it is spelled the way it is. It's not Toon, it's Tunes. So Looney Tunes, and the reason that being is how I just explained is like they like taking classical arrangements of music and then animating all the stuff around it. But yeah, it's just like a little tidbit. Anyway, Melody says time. So okay, cool. I'm done with my community service for this first 2 hours. Melody says Disney did the same with their silly symphonies. Yeah, yeah, same thing with silly symphonies. They took Disney took classical music and animated their cartoon characters around it. Melody says Ride of the Valkyries in in what's opera doc, like fucking golden like classic piece of Looney Tunes animation, and like Chuck Jones, I'd have to say at like one of his best animation performances. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, that'll do it for this morning round of Johnson Black Horse Community Service Art Stream. Um, if you liked what you saw, depending on whether you saw it on Twitch or YouTube, you can go ahead and follow me and subscribe. If you want to donate toward this Navajo Coyote Stories Reanimation Project. There's a link in the section below. It'll take you to my Coffee page, and there you can donate any dollar amount. If you don't, that's cool. But if you do, it'd be fucking really appreciated. And again, since the donations were pretty recent, like I always like to thank Melody because she's like my top tier donator. But also like shouts out to Black Samurai, and I had it written down. Oh, something warrior. Was it Cloud Warrior? No, that's gonna bug me. I gotta write this down on a different sheet so I can thank them. I almost at every chance I get. Okay, coffee page. Okay, this is taking too long to load, but yeah, thank those individuals. And okay, hold on, it's loading. It is loading. Oh, Cosmic Wonder. That's who it was. So shouts out to Black Samurai and Cosmic Wonder for their recent donations, and Melody as well because she's also like always the top tier. And thanks for those who participated in the chat. It's always awesome interacting with all of you. My lovely moderator, as always, Alstar Dreamer. Issa McIntosh, thanks for dropping by, and that is it. So until next time, sometime later today, this has been Johnson Black Horse One and Only, and I shall check you all later. Sweet! Bye.